Feel like our habits are getting better, and that's a credit to the work that they've been doing and the focus that they've been giving those things.
How'd you feel about Derek Favors and the overall team effort in dominating the paint?
Well, Derek, I mean, the box score says it with Fave, but I think he was better than the box score. It's hard to be better than 12 of 16. One of the things. He's different than Rudy, but he was so effective today protecting the rim because he was just playing vertically, and that's something we've got some carryover on. Hopefully some of the other guys will see the success that he's had with that. Obviously, Fave vertically is different because he's so long, but I thought that was a really big part of the game, particularly in the third quarter when he was able to come help and we were able to not foul. So Derek was terrific. He anchored us on both ends. I thought he didn't hunt his offense either. There was one play where he had a post up on a mismatch, and they started to help, and he drew the man in a little bit and kicked it to Donovan for a three. So there wasn't a whole lot that he didn't do well tonight.
Seems like 2 to 3 weeks ago you guys weren't doing a good job of keeping guys in front of you and on the perimeter, and now it's turned around and you guys are being more solid on the ball. What's led to that change, if anything, in your mind?
I think it's a mindset. We're not the quickest team in the league, so we have to be really alert and urgent. And a lot of it's not just the guy on the ball; it's the guys off the ball being shifted and eating space and being big to give the guy guarding the ball confidence. And one of the biggest things is we've just fouled on drives, and it's a bailout. And I think as we've gotten more disciplined with those things, knowing we're not going to foul, that it just puts more focus on it. So it'll continue to be a challenge for us at times, but obviously it was something that we're doing a little better of. And a lot of that happens in transition. So it's very difficult for anybody to stay in front of an NBA player when they're going downhill in transition. So I thought that was one of the bigger things tonight is we have to have urgency to get back. And then we have to be focused on where we need to be positionally with the other guys on the floor.
You mentioned good effort in the second half, and you just mentioned a little bit of that urgency. Was that the biggest difference on the defensive end from the first to the second half?
I mean, they're a good team, and they're a really good offensive team. And there's going to be times guys are going to, they're going to make plays and make shots. I just felt like, the biggest thing defensively in the second half is we secured the defensive glass better. They had 10 offensive rebounds at halftime, and had just a couple in the second half. So it's tough when you work hard and you get a stop and then they get an offensive rebound. Those are difficult possessions because you expend energy and then you're not you lose concentration and focus and you're not rewarded for it. So we were able to do a much better job of that in the second half, and I think it was reflected in our defense.
Coach, the NBA season obviously, is full of highs and lows. Just talk about how much the momentum has switched. I mean, you look at this time, the last couple of weeks, and stuff is starting to change for you guys. Well,
I think you mentioned it. It's what it is. There's going to be highs and lows, and it's really more how you handle them. And we're not. We're working hard to try to be a good team. I don't even want to try to evaluate where we are on whatever that scale is. We know the things that we need to do to be competitive, and that has to be our focus. And if that means we win a couple, that's the idea. But if we're playing the right way and trying to get better, and the win and loss column isn't going our way, I don't think you obsess about that. You look at why you're struggling, and I think that's something that these guys, the last couple weeks, I think we've dug in a little bit and focused, and we've improved as a result. And we've worked hard, and that's not over. We have to continue to do that because we're heading into a stretch where we could very well, we have the most difficult schedule in the league in December. So. We're the same team. If we lose a few in December, as long as we're competing and playing the right way, that's part of what the season is about, and we've got to handle all that the right way.
See Jonas and Ricky contributing a lot, especially early in the first half when you guys were finding your way a little bit on offense. Did they have sort of directives with Rodney Hood out to kind of carry some load?
I think both, Ricky, I thought, is beginning to really feel the game and feel his teammates, and his decisions are improving. And as a result, he's having more success on the offensive end. The thing for Ricky is just to be sound and, to play without fouling. We've had him in early foul trouble too much, and then I think that impacts his game. But I thought early he was getting other people involved. That's what we want from him. And then his offense comes opportunistically as other guys get involved. Jonas has to be a ball mover. Jonas's strength is connecting the group. Not necessarily. He's capable of making individual plays, but where Jonas helps us is when he's making plays for other people. But by and large, I thought Ricky had a really, really solid game tonight.
With Rodney out, you had quite a few contributions from different players off the bench. Mm-hmm. What were your impressions of the effort they put in Hood's absence?
Yeah, I think we've had that with Rodney playing too. So there wasn't any, we didn't talk about any one guy, trying to, do something different than they're capable of doing. I thought actually in the early part of the game we weren't as connected as we've been. I didn't think we were playing as well offensively because I didn't think the ball was moving as much. I didn't think we attacked switches as well as we have. Sometimes what happens when you're missing, one of your leading scorers, guys feel like they have to do more, and really they don't. It's exactly the opposite. When you start trying to do more, it doesn't work out as well because you're playing outside yourself, and you just need each other more. And when our bench reflects that, they're efficient. And what that comes down to, frankly, is just defending. If we defend, then whatever happens on the offensive end, as long as guys are unselfish and the open guy shoots the ball. You just want to get open shots. That's the whole thing. And guys know where what their shots are, and if you're open, shoot them.